Did the guy tell you if AI is going to outlove us? No, right? It's all like mathematical capitalism worries. And if that day comes where AI is going to be smarter than us, maybe that's when human beings become something that we've been waiting to become, and that is this spiritual creature that evolves spiritually to outlove anything on Earth. Because AI is not going to do that.
Will.i.am, founder and lead member of the Black-Eyed Peas, holding 7 Grammys under his belt, an experienced tech entrepreneur, creative innovator, futurist, and philanthropist. He's the founder and CEO of FYI.AI, an AI-powered productivity tool for creatives, and he also does a lot of work for inner-city disadvantaged youth to learn STEM skills.
AI's job is to be that thing that wakes us up to really truly do what we're supposed to do on this planet, and that is to be loving the whole entire electromagnetic spectrum.
You're trying to make as much human-made music as possible. So talk to us about the way that music is going to change from AI, and creators in general are going to have to adapt to AI in the future. Hey, Yap fam. One of the things I love most about doing this show is sitting down with visionaries who can see the future before the rest of us and then build it. In this Yap Classic episode, we're revisiting my conversation with one of the most creative minds on the planet, Will.i.am. You know him as the 7-time Grammy Award-winning founder of the Black-Eyed Peas, but he's so much more than a music legend. He's a futurist, technologist, and founder of FYI, an AI-powered platform transforming how creators collaborate. In this conversation, Will.i.am shares how he used his imagination to escape the projects of East LA, why creativity is the new currency, and how AI can become a tool for empowerment, inclusion, and a new human renaissance. So yeah, fam, I want you to get ready to see creativity and technology in a whole new light. Without further ado, I give you the one and only Will.i.am. Will, welcome to Young and Profiting Podcast.
Nice to meet you, Hala. Thanks for having me.
I'm super excited. I don't often get a chance to speak with legendary artists like you, so I'm really happy to have you on the show. And I want to get into so many topics, from how you rose to fame in your career to AI and the impact it has on creators, as well as your experience as an entrepreneur and a futurist. But first, I'd love to get a little bit of information about your past. You grew up in LA. Single mother, and in high school you were voted most likely to succeed. So tell us in your own words.
In high school, I was voted space cadet.
Space cadet?
Yeah, they thought it was weird. Whatever.
Oh.
It's all good, though.
Well, what was Will.i.am like then, in your own words, young Will.i.am?
I grew up in an all-Mexican neighborhood. Went to a predominantly white school and in a really rich neighborhood. And I went to an all-black church. So that kind of like upbringing of different ethnicities, diversity, capital differentiation, the haves and the have-nots. I realized, what I possessed was something that was sought after that money couldn't buy. That was authenticity, creativity, imagination. And no matter which pocket I was rocking in, whether it was my neighborhood in East LA, which is poor, predominantly Mexicano, to Palisades and Brentwood and Paul Revere, where the rich white folks are at, or the soulful black church, the creativity and the imagination, that was my currency. That's what separated me from the herds. And I loved it. I loved being in that diverse mix.
And at what point in your childhood or teenage years did you first get interested in music?
I mean, people always say like, I was into music ever since I was little. Like, for real. Like, I was into music ever since I was 9. I could say 9. 9 years old was when I realized I really loved it. 13 is when I started writing my own songs. By 15, this is what I wanted to do for a living. By 17, I had a record deal. I had a record contract at 17. I was in the, just hopped into the 11th grade. It was a big deal going to school. When I came to school with my record contract and my check. Like, look, I got a record deal with Eazy-E, Ruthless Records, NWA, what? So my neighborhood was like, fucking Willie, dog, you signed with Eazy-E, Holmes? And so that was beautiful, when your neighborhood is proud. And then all my friends, my white friends in school were like, oh my gosh, Will.i.am, you got a record deal? It's so freaking cool. And so that was cool. You know, my friends at church were like, dang, Will, that's freaking dope. I had like, you know, a lot of support and acknowledgement, and you know, everyone was proud of that accomplishment at 17. So that went a long way.
That's incredible. And your music career has been absolutely epic. You've gotten 7 Grammy Awards, a Latin Grammy Award, a Daytime Emmy Award. You produce songs for superstars like Michael Jackson, Britney Spears, Shakira, John Legend. And your rise to fame, aside from your talent, must have been grit, right? So I'm curious to understand the motivation behind your career and all that you've achieved.
Well, rise to fame, that's just like the results of relentless push, go get it. You know, a door's closed, you design a new door. Like a lot of times people think when the doors close, you wait for another door to open. You actually are supposed to design a new door. You know, and it's once again, it's that creativity is your currency where you have to make the opportunities. You don't wait for opportunities. And the rise to fame is the result of that type of like manifesting dreams, you know, because people would rather see you fail as entertainment. When watching people fail is entertainment, that you have that working against any dreamer was when the world wants to see you fall. Or when there's so many setbacks in your community, there's so many setbacks in society as a whole, you know, tripwires, peer pressure, partake in these promiscuous activities. All those types of things are like recipes for your dream to be compromised. If you want to be the author of your success or, you know, be lucky that you have success, which one you want? Luck is like a gamble. An author of success is sacrifice, dedication, and focus. Hustle, networking, go, 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 and selecting who your support system is. Because a lot of times, like, the nightmare could creep. And the nightmare are basic things like, I got to pay my bills. The nightmare is like, you know, I got to get a job. That's a nightmare to a dream. Because not a job is not necessarily the vehicle to manifest your dream. Sometimes a job is the vehicle to destroy your dream. Like when you're working at a job, you're actually working to help somebody else's dream real. Or you could have a dream and really put strategy behind that dream. And then there's people that are going to want to work with you to make your dream real. Like, which one do you want? You know, and I wanted to be in the vehicle of manifesting my dream. To do that, you need a support system. You have to put yourself in a situation to where getting a job is the tripwire to manifest your dream. But for a lot of folks, it is.
Yep.
And so, you know, my journey is because of people that really helped me not have to take that route. You know, my mom, my ex-girlfriend, her family, because that could really fuck your dream up.
Yep.
When you're out there, like, something's going to take your energy. And so I always invested my energy in the dream. A lot of times, you know, your personal life sacrifices because, you know, you put all your energy in the dream.
Yeah.
So that rise to fame, I don't like that word fame. Because that's like you're doing it for the wrong reasons. My reasons were like, I just want to take care of my family. I want to be able to support, provide. I want to be able to always have the ability to have an idea and manifest that idea.
Yeah. Now, you really won the hearts of the American people, especially with Black Eyed Peas. And there's so many artists, especially today, now that, you know, you can release music independently, digitally. So why do you think that you made it compared to so many artists who go unnoticed?
Sacrifice, focus, reaching, not settling for immediate success, always reaching for like broader success.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, my neighborhood's dope. I wanna have popularity in my neighborhood, but I also want to go to that neighborhood over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I want to rock this crowd over here at this college at USC, but I also want to rock UCLA. I want to rock UCLA, but I also want to go to Northridge. I want to rock Northridge. I also want to go to Dominguez Hills. Yo, imagine we play San Diego. Like, we've been rocking LA. How about we go to San Diego State and UCSD? Yo, imagine we go to freaking Santa Barbara College. And so that mentality of growth, new neighborhoods, new like locations, new fan bases, that kept us hungry. And a lot of times when you do that, you have the truest and the purest that are like, yo, man, like, y'all ain't underground no more. Like, who said I want to stay underground? Like, at one point in time, Black Eyed Peas were an underground group. And there's a rap that I wrote when we were, before we released our first record. And there's two songs. One is called Joints and Jams. And the lyric on Joints and Jams says, we're about mass appeal, no segregation, got black to Asian and Caucasian saying that's the joint, that's the jam. And that was always the mission. There's another song that says, yo, my man, I got a plan to do it all. I got a plan that none of y'all ever thought about, because underground niggas don't be thinking on going continental like Lincoln. How can you make moves when you always trapped under? I'm trying to reach the surface to learn more about the thunder. I wonder what really makes the world go round. Not thugs, because thugs go round to bring other brothers down, to be in it for a quick blink. But when you start to sink, you'll be deeper than you was when you should have stopped to think about your consequences. Your actions don't make lots of sense. Brothers choose a wicked life because of lack of confidence. The devil jacked you for your sins. Now you can pay the rent, and that's no accident. You let it slip, so it went. That whole mentality of like staying on this like conscious path to reach as many people as possible has always been our mission.
Yeah.
From the jump. Like, yo, imagine going to Brazil, bro. Not just Rio, but Curitiba, Belo Horizonte, you know, Porto Alegre, Fortaleza, Florianopolis, you know, Brasilia, Sao Paulo, Bahia. Like, let's go to all the places. Like, imagine going to France and not just going to Paris, but to go to Lyon and Marseille, you know, and, you know, Perpignan. Let's go to the places that people don't normally go to. Like, we wanted to, like, you imagine going to Southeast Asia, not just Japan, but let's go to, you know, Philippines and Guam and Laos and Malaysia and Singapore and Cambodia and Indonesia. Let's go to places people don't go.
Yeah.
And so that's always been Black Eyed Peas. Yeah, let's go to Paraguay and Uruguay. People like music out there. Let's go to like Nicaragua. Let's go to Guatemala. Let's go to freaking, you know, Costa Rica, Chile. Let's go to Peru. Let's go to the world. Let's go to Kazakhstan and freaking, you know, Lithuania and Estonia. Let's go to Georgia. Not Georgia, Atlanta. Yeah, let's go to Atlanta, Georgia, but let's go to Georgia, right below Russia near Armenia. Let's go to places.
Yeah.
That's always been our whole, like, Black Eyed Peas, we tour more outside America than we toured America. Like, America was like, yeah, we American, that's dope, but the world is massive.
What's up, Yap Gang? I've been running my own business for almost 7 years now. And back when I was just getting started, I thought brand identity was just your logo, your colors, and your social media presence. But once I actually got into it, I realized it's also the stuff nobody sees. The operating agreements, the compliance docs, the boring but important things that keeps your business legit. That's why I always recommend Northwest Registered Agent. They've helped me, and they've been doing this for almost 30 years. They're the biggest registered agent and LLC service in the country. With Northwest, you get more privacy, more guidance, and more free tools. I'm talking thousands of guides, legal forms, and step-by-step resources, all in one place. Northwest Registered Agent makes entrepreneurship a breeze. It makes starting and protecting your business way easier, trust me. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and get your complete business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Visit northwestregisteredagent.com/yapfree and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at northwestregisteredagent.com/yapfree. The link is in our show notes. Hey, young and profiters. It is that time of the year where we start doing all the holiday things like making lists and buying gifts for everyone else. But let me stop you right there. It is the season for gift giving, but that doesn't mean you should forget about yourself. Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales are around the corner, and Merit Beauty is giving you early access to their only sale of the year. Merit is my go-to minimalist beauty brand for a routine that actually simplifies my life. I love that their products are clean, vegan, cruelty-free, and made with nourishing skincare ingredients. It's all about getting those essentials you'll use down to the last drop. Right now, you can get early access to Merit's only sale of the year when you go to meritbeauty.com and use code EA profiting from November 21st through the 23rd. You will get 20% off site-wide plus a gift with purchase while supplies last. That's meritbeauty.com, promo code EA profiting, meritbeauty.com, promo code EA profiting. And I know with your music, also with your messaging, it was a lot about unity and love, and the group itself, when Fergie was in it as well, was very diverse, and that was really different at the time. So I'd love to understand, like, in terms of the messaging, what were your, I guess, thoughts around that, or was that just organic?
We're just LA. That's just what LA looks like. LA's Filipino, a little bit of native Mexican, a little bit of black, a little bit of Korean, a little bit of Persian, a little bit of freaking Armenian. LA is like a melting pot. And Black Eyed Peas represents that melting pot.
Yeah.
White girls that hung out with cholos, black girls that hung out with freaking, Korean folk, that's LA.
Yeah. So your accolades don't stop with music. You're an entrepreneur, you're a founder and CEO, you're a philanthropist. And so I want to get into your philanthropy hopefully later in the interview if we have time. First, I want to talk about your role in business and entrepreneurship. So I know that you're a futurist and you've been a creative advisor to many major companies. Why do you call yourself a futurist, and how do you see the future more clearly than others?
I'm a futurist. I was a futurist when I was in the projects. Because to get out the projects, you have to have a future mindset. You have to be able to have a plausible path out of a circumstance that has been set up for you to fail. And that type of dreaming and strategy behind the dream to manifest that dream to reality, that's future casting. It's one thing from I'm not into dreaming and I'm not into wishing. I like to have plausible future casting and use my intuition. Play on intuition and intuition. Like, you follow your intuition on where you think things can go after you've sponged up the world and used your imagination to imagine what is going to come next. And so applying that same type of, world building that got me out of the world I was born in, I have applied that to not only the Black Eyed Peas, I applied that to, me consulting for companies like Intel, Coca-Cola, Beats, Apple, Mercedes, and startups, things like that. So really happy with how things have turned out and the network that has been built. I invested in companies early on, Twitter early on, Pinterest early on, Tesla, Twitter before Elon took over the company as well. And Elon's dope. He's a big inspiration as far as, what's possible business-wise, where individuals can create companies and compete with giant companies. That's dope. And I like going out and finding teams, investing in teams. I like trying to solve problems, funding those solutions and creating companies and then going out and raising money. That journey is probably the most creative journey for any creative to do. It's like, hey, let's apply our minds and our imagination to solve this problem. And if we solve that problem, let's see if there's a company that we can create from solving that problem. And what is it going to take for us to, materialize that in the form of a company? Are we going to use our own money? Are we going to go out and raise money? Who do we need in our fold to, operationalize these creative workshops of identifying a problem, solving that problem, turning that problem into a product, funding that product, creating a company, right? That to me is the most creative type of workshopping in the whole world of creativity. Doing that.
That's such an interesting perspective. I've never really heard it that way. While we're on the topic of you being a futurist, what's the most futuristic thing that you've ever done?
I've done some pretty.
You have. You played your music on Mars. I know that.
Yeah, that was dope. That was a really cool collaboration with NASA to send a song on Curiosity to Mars and beam it back to Earth. That was dope. And it inspired our students to see what's possible as far as like inner city kids being in and around science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and showing them that we too can be a part of space exploration and engineering, and showing them what's possible. Because a lot of times when you watch these documentaries or these movies about space exploration, a lot of times the folks that look like us that were involved are very rarely celebrated. And there's lots of folks that look like us that have been behind the scenes doing awesome work. And I salute those astronauts, like not astronauts, astronauts. I like the astronauts.
Yeah.
And yeah, urbanites that are out there exploring space, and that was really cool. So other futuristic things that I've done, it's not futurist as far as like your typical concept of futurism, but going back to my neighborhood and starting a robotics program and computer science program was a futurist endeavor. And I started with 65 kids, and now we have about just a little over 13,000 students in LA.
Amazing.
In robotics and technology and computer science and engineering. That's future casting. You're applying yourself, identifying a problem and trying your hardest to solve that problem. Other futuristic things I did was back in 2012, we built a watch that had we forked Android, created our own operating system, put our own chipset, a mobile chipset, Snapdragon chipset onto the wrist, wrapped the battery around the wrist, had a camera on the device. In 2012, so in 2012, 13, that not many watches that were doing that. So that was futuristic, future
Very
casting.
Cool. Yeah. And in terms of the future, something that's going to impact us so much, and that's the biggest trend that everybody wants to talk about right now, is AI, right? So you call AI the new renaissance. Talk to us about when you were first exposed to AI and how you believe that AI is going to change the world.
First time I heard the concept of AI was in 2005. And I met this amazing professor at MIT. His name is Professor Patrick Winston, rest in peace. I was introduced to him by a guy by the name of Alan Hartstone in the Media Lab. And every time I would go to Boston, I would try my hardest to go to Professor Patrick Winston's AI class from 2005, 2006, 2007. And, just learn. And I was inspired by the field and a lot of the AI work and research that was happening in the not so popular side of culture, because nobody was really checking for AI.
Yeah.
back then in popular culture. And in 2009, Black Eyed Peas did this video called "I'ma Be Rocking That Body." And if you Google it, type in "I'ma Be Rocking That Body." There's a 10-minute video. The intro of that video has me coming to my best friends, Black Eyed Peas, and saying, "Yo, this right here is the future. Black Eyed Peas, what's going to take us to 3008 is this AI. We're going to, invest in allowing our ideas to always be able to make songs in the future in 3008. The AIs that we program and train by ingesting all this information are their whole entire vocal English language and our timbres, my high notes, my low notes, right? The whole concept of how to train and prompt engineer is in this video in 2009.
Wow. I'm going to try to get the audio and play it in the outro.
Yeah. Do the whole thing. Get the audio and the visual.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I've been in AI for a while. And so that watch that I told you that we made in 2013, 12 and 13 was a voice, contextual voice conversational OS. So we were doing conversational computing back in 2013, 14, 15 on a product that we had on our wrist. But it was too early. It was early on that type of future casting. And I learned about, the future, the potentials when I was sitting in the Futurist department at Intel. And a watch, hey, let's reimagine what a watch is. And if you have small real estate on your wrist, you should be able to speak to it rather than type and swipe. So that's the reason why we entered into voice computing back in 2012 is when we started building it. 2013 when we had our first prototype. 2014 is when we launched it. It took us about 2 years to materialize. And we had an AI, a conversational contextual voice operating system on the device. And ever since then, I've just been investing in AI teams, solutions. I invested in a bunch of a handful of the companies that are popular today. I invested in early stages of these companies that we know of.
I never realized that you were so involved in AI for such a long time. That's like such cool information to learn because everybody thinks of you a lot, mostly for your music career, but it's so cool to learn all these other things that you've been doing.
Yeah, well, we just got out of AI winter. So the folks over at OpenAI helped push the field out of AI winter. So there's been people that have been working in AI for years. That's how we've gotten to this place of awesome sauce. People like Demis and Mustafa that the founders of DeepMind. So there's an amazing firm called Horizon Ventures. So the AI company that I started back in 2012-13, we had the same investors. And I was introduced to Demis and Mustafa, more importantly, more like connected to Demis back in 2013 and 14. Seeing the work that DeepMind was doing back then. And it's a small community of folks that are working on these technologies. And so it's an awesome community from all the way from, Dario at Anthropic, the original architect for GPT-1, 2, and 3, and Sam Altman and the ChatGPT cats to, Mustafa and Inflection, Reid Hoffman, to Clem and the Hugging Face crew, to the Runway cats, the Mid-Journey. Wow, the Mid-Journey folks. That's amazing. Mid-Journey's like, what? You know how big the Mid-Journey team is? It ain't even that big. No. The what? Redefining, small teams doing awesome stuff. And Runway's dope too. Runway's really, really dope. Inflection is really, really fresh. There's a lot of cool stuff that's coming. There's new companies working on new cool things. FYI, we're trying our hardest to push the boundaries on what creative messaging is. Web 3.0 creative enterprise. What is that? Creators have never had, a messaging tool made for them where you could send big files on the messenger, open big files on the
Yep.
messenger, secure big files with elliptical curve cryptography methodologies, you know, uh, have AI in the conversation with you and your team in a very safe, trusted way. Like, you know, we're really trying to champion like communication in a creative renaissance and transforming the messenger.
Yeah.
So yeah, FYI.AI is like, we're really rocking, inspired by the Mid-Journey team to stay lean and small, focus, build, and solve problems to help creators be better creatives and supercharge them with awesome tools.
Let's stick on that for a minute. I was talking to Lee a while ago when we first were talking about having you on the show. She's part of your team, and she was telling me how during COVID, you suddenly had to work from home, and you were kind of driven mad. Like, how am I supposed to use all this? This is really hard to work from home. And you realized there were so many problems when it came to musicians and creators trying to create music when they had to work from home. So talk to us about the problems that you saw.
Yeah, so before COVID, the world was the world. We took for granted how we used to do things. We went to work and we took for granted how awesome going to work was. We went home and we took for granted how awesome, a peaceful home was. And then all of a sudden the world stopped and we were working from home. And we realized that the home environment that we thought was home needed to have a little bit more love because people didn't really appreciate their home. And they really didn't appreciate their work. COVID allowed me to being home allowed me to really look deep in myself, what my purpose is. And I started looking at the tools that I use to communicate or that were given to me to communicate. And during COVID, it's like the messenger and Zoom came out of nowhere. Like nobody was talking about Zoom before COVID. Like you barely Skyped during COVID. And Zoom just zoomed past like Skype, like poor Skype. You know what I'm saying? Poor Skype. Zoom just came out of nowhere. And the creatives were continuing to rock on WhatsApp and iMessage. And to do that, you needed a Dropbox and a WeTransfer. And I'm like, wait, my conversations are on the messenger and email sometimes because this file is super large. So they have to send it on a WeTransfer and I have to open it as a zip on my laptop because I can't open it from my phone on a messenger. But some comments are on the Dropbox, but some comments and replies are on the email. Like, where was that note? Was the note on the like, this shit is all over the place. And that was like the majority of 2020 for my field. I'm like, wow, I want to solve this just for me. And the people that I collaborate with, like, there has to be a better way to work off the phone or tablet. An email is like old school. I don't like email. Email is like this old, clunky, what's the conversation flow? Like, this shit is all over the place. People are sending long texts, but short emails? Like, this shit is broken. Texts were always supposed to be short. That's why they call them SMS, for short messages. But people are sending long messages on text, but short emails like yes, hello, no, like, and I'm getting all these like CCs of just like yes and no's on email. This is broken. So I was like, let me find some awesome engineers and try to have like this singular interface of a communication, collaboration, digital asset management workplace in the form of a messenger where I could send large files, where I could, collaborate better and have a better track of who said what, when they said what. Awesome ledgers where I could send things and remove access to the encryption key to where now you don't have access to that folder or that file anymore. I could block it to where you can't take a screenshot or screen record I can assign Face ID. The only person that could see this is this face and this face only. That's what a messenger should be like in 2020 right now, where people and teams can interact with intelligence all on a group thread, where it's generative AI and awesome talent all on the same conversation flow. Like, if you're stuck and you need extra strategic counsel, it's an AI away. You could just evoke strategy from any place on the messenger. Yes, that's what a messenger should sound like in 2020 right now. And so we started building that. We had that vision back in 2020, materialized in 2021. The back end to allow you to call from the content. Right now in any messenger, I send you something and then I'll be like, yo, did you see what I sent you? You'd be like, yeah, okay, check it out and call me back. That's the flow right now. Or let's hop on this Zoom. Hey, hold on, I'm gonna share my screen. And then after you share your screen, you're like, yo, can you send me an email of what you shared? Or, hey, did you open up that text I sent you with that file? Hey, look at it and call me back. That's the flow right now. On FYI, it's like, yo, I'm gonna call you from this piece of content. I'm gonna call you from this file so that when you see my phone call ringing, you know what I'm calling you for. I'm calling you about this file. So you could even preview it before you answer the phone. And then you know the context of what I'm calling about. And then if I share this project with you, or, because FYI is project-based, you don't have to ask me for that file later. If I wanted you to keep it, I allow you to keep it. If I wanted to remove it, I remove access. I turn the key off. You don't have access to that. And then you have to call like, hey, that project you shared, can you give me access to see that? So those types of like turning off and on keys to remove or give you access to files that are dear to me, giving me the ability to protect those files that are precious to me, whether the files are docs or songs or videos or PDFs or projects or contracts, whatever those files are that are precious to your dream and materializing those dreams, you should have all the tools to secure those files. And more importantly, you should own all that data. You shouldn't have to worry about some company freaking selling your identity and your data away. Like, that doesn't sound like 2020 right now. That sounds like some freaking greedy ass data monarchy companies that are taking advantage of people, their communities, and their civil liberties. No, that's not creative. Creativity is always like collaborative. Creativity is always like, hey, this is about the community. Creativity is always about harmony and, being in sync and making sure you make sense of the noise. That's music. That's art. And that's how we want it. That's how we're building FYI, is from those principles.
Hello, my young and profiters. I know most of us, if not all, have been in a situation where you open your closet and you suddenly feel like you have nothing to wear. That stress is real. And it happens to me, especially when I have a big speaking engagement or a major interview and I need an outfit that makes me feel confident and great about myself. And that's why I love Revolve. It's my go-to for every occasion. I'm wearing Revolve right now, this new brand I found called Loba, and I absolutely love it. With over 1,200 brands and 100,000 styles, they've got everything from elevated basics to statement pieces. Plus, they drop new arrivals daily, and the curated edits make finding outfits easy and fun. Whether it's a weekend away, a big night out, or just a little style refresh, your dream wardrobe is just one click away. Head to revolve.com/profiting, shop my edit, and take 15% off your first order with code PROFITING. Fast 2-day shipping, easy returns. It's literally the only place you need to shop from. And by the way, they ship fast. Sometimes I do overnight delivery when I need an outfit in a pinch. That's revolve.com/profiting to get my favorites and get 15% off your first order with code PROFITING. Offer ends November 9th, so happy shopping. Hey, Young and Profiters, we talk a lot about protecting our businesses, but let's talk about protecting ourselves. These days, we share so much information online, and people don't realize that data brokers collect and sell our personal information. Your phone number, your home address, even your family details can be listed out for anybody to buy. That's how risks like stalking or identity theft happen. That's why I trust and recommend Delete Me. Delete Me is something that I've personally used for many years now, and it's a service that helps me remove my private data from hundreds of data broker websites. Their privacy experts keep an eye out on these sites to see if anything pops up new, and they take care of removals for me all year long. After I signed up, I got my first privacy report within a week, and seeing how many sites they took my information off of was eye-opening. And so I'm so happy that those are now removed. It gives me a real peace of mind. Get 20% off Delete Me consumer plans when you go to joindeleteme.com/profiting and use promo code profiting, PROFITING at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/profiting with code profiting at checkout for 20% off your consumer plan.
Yeah, FYI sounds super cool. And is it just for musicians right now, or is it for, because I could see it being used for podcasts, for YouTubers?
Yeah, so podcasts, YouTubers, vloggers, bloggers, musicians, storytellers, book writers, tutors, teachers, students. Yeah, it's a collaboration, networking, communication tool. For this era, for this age, for this new renaissance.
And is there a way for people to try it for free?
Oh, right now, FYI is for free. So we're on iOS, we're on Android. We're about to release our desktop, and our tablet, like really soon.
Awesome.
Yeah, and adding awesome features by the end of the year. So yeah, it's really, really, really awesome. And the team is strong and small. Yeah, tiny but mighty, inspired by the Mid-Journey. Those guys are. When I heard how awesome, itty bitty but amazing their team was, it just goes to show like startups can do amazing things with awesome talent, and no matter how different they are from the juggernauts, the giants of yester. These small speedboats that can also pull megatons when it comes to the architecture and the vision. That's what's awesome about the age, this renaissance, because a team of 4 is now has the power of the team of 200.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? Somebody could be like, yeah, but that's putting a lot of folks out of jobs. And my argument would, these 4 that I'm talking about never got considered in the workplace to begin with. There's a part of culture that no one really paid attention to when it came to equality and diversifying. They never went to the inner cities and brought them up to speed on the new technological advances. So when it comes to, jobs that will be obliterated because of AI, that's unfortunate. That happens in every industry shift. From the third industrial revolution, from second to third, a lot of jobs are rendered obsolete. So if you were a candlestick maker or your family made lanterns for hundreds of years, and then the light bulb came and electricity came, those jobs were rendered not obsolete, but they were reduced. Candles are still made, still to this day, but that's not the only type of illumination. Lanterns are still, used, but that's not the only, right? You got LEDs. They're not even hot. You can hold LED like that. You ain't burning your hand like it was in the 80s where you touched the light bulb and freaking melted your fingertips. Evolution, technological evolution has, enriched our lives. And now this new technological evolution, going from the third industrial revolution to the fourth industrial revolution, unfortunately, like the second to the third, lots of jobs will go, but new jobs will grow. Who's going to create those new jobs? I think those jobs that are going to be created, those industries that are going to be unearthed, are going to come from folks whose problems were always ignored. right? People that come from underserved communities. Those underserved communities, no one really ever looked for the server in the first place and held that person accountable. No one ever held the underdeveloper that was responsible for the underdeveloped community. When you say underdeveloped community, there is a developer on the other end of that sentence. But no one was ever like, yo, who is this developer in the first damn place that's responsible for this underdeveloped community? And now, for the first time in these people's lives, and I'm one of those people because I come from those types of communities, we now have tools where we could solve our problems ourselves. We could serve ourselves with these tools. We could develop our communities ourselves with these tools and identify these problems that have always been, affecting us. And when you solve those problems, new jobs, new careers will be in society. And that's why I'm super optimistic, is because it's going to do two things. It's going to, supercharge imaginative, creative folks that have always lived in those circumstances to finally solve those problems themselves. And by doing that, they are tomorrow's entrepreneurs. They are tomorrow's industry leaders and trailblazers that will unearth tomorrow's jobs, workforces. It's awesome times, new renaissance.
Totally. And it's super inspiring what you're saying and all the work that you've done in these underserved communities to teach them about STEM and give them opportunities to learn about robotics and all the education that you do. You were just talking about how industries are going to change. And I know that you've said something along the lines of right now you're trying to make as much human-made music as possible. So talk to us about the way that music is going to change from AI and creators in general are going to have to adapt to AI in the future.
All right, there's two things happening. Not just two things. That's a very vague thing to say. But there's two trends that I see happening in culture. And that is music that is hypersensitive to TikTok algorithms. Yo, let's get these TikToks out there. And making songs for TikTok has reduced the attention span of a song. That's cool. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's dope. There's a lot of people having fun to it and creating and having some joyful moments. And that's great. That's what music's all about. When you have been reduced to make content for an algorithm, in the age where a machine understands the algorithm more than you, the person, then who's going to create better TikToks? People or AIs? AIs will outproduce TikToks than humans will, because we are guessing what the algorithm's going to do, while the AI will know exactly the algorithms and have more context on how people are going to respond to those algorithms. So that's a concern, right? And I think that's going to create a whole new type of human-made music. You go to the supermarket, you'd be like, yo, where's the organic? Can you show me to the organic vegetable section, organic fruits? And when you go to those organic stations in the supermarket, organic fruit don't look as good as the non-organic fruit. Whatever look good means. Maybe the organic fruit has some bruises on it. But damn, that freaking organic banana is amazing. And it tastes great. May not look as, filtered pretty as the one sitting there for the past 3 weeks and hasn't gotten old yet. Right? But damn, that organic banana tastes delicious. And I think we're going to have that. This is organic human-made music. And people are going to want to go to live shows to see people really playing instruments. See people truly improvising. Yo, you just made that up right now? Yeah, bro, I just made this up right the fuck now. Right now? You didn't write that? Nah, bro. Just right fucking now, bro. Just right now? Just right now. Get the fuck out of here. Right now? Nigga, didn't I just say right now 5 times? Right. So people are going to appreciate improv. Because who the fuck is truly improving right now? Everything is so scripted, so filtered, so almost robotic, right? And that's nothing wrong with robotic. Right? I've done some robotic shit in my life. But I see a curve. I see this humanism around the corner. And some other folks like, yo, ain't you nervous about AI in the creative space, Will? I'm like, nah, no. They're like, why, bro? It's gonna make awesome beats. Yeah, damn right. AI is gonna make some fucking sick ass beats. It's gonna make some fucking dope ass lyrics. Yo, damn right, bro. AI is gonna make some dope ass lyrics. To the point where you're like, yo, who's the best lyricist? Jay-Z or the AI Jay-Z? Which one's gonna be better? Like, yo, human Jay-Z, write me a verse on quantum theory from the perspective of living in the hood. Well, Jay-Z has to do some research on quantum mechanics to write that. The AI Jay-Z would do that immediately. Like in-depth, deep, metaphorical, concepts that it's going to take somebody to be an expert at that field to really, truly write songs about, synthetic biology from the perspective of somebody living in Compton or somebody playing basketball, using metaphors on synthetic and really, truly hitting every point. Like AI is going to be able to do that. And that's dope. And it's going to push human literature even further, right? That's dope too, right? But here's why I don't really give a fuck. Because if AI was to do yoga, is it going to do yoga better than me? And if it does, who fucking cares? Because I need to do yoga. And I cannot pass off certain tasks to an AI when I need to do that for my own spiritual, physical growth. I need to do yoga. I need to stretch. I need to stretch my mind. I need to stretch my soul. I need to stretch my body. And there's certain things AI is not going to do for me. I don't give a fuck how awesome AI, you could program it to do synthetic simulations of shitting. It's not going to shit for me. It could fucking shit in 2 seconds. I cannot be like, yo, Chat GPT, I need you to take a shit for me. It's not going to do that shit. There's certain shit I got to do on my fucking own. And creating is one of those fucking things. I have to do it. It's therapeutic. So whether or not you like it better than my shit, I don't really care. Because there's gonna be some people that like mine's better than the AI, right? Because what is good, what is bad is relative. Yeah. And I believe that people are going to be sick and tired of perfect. People are going to get tired of exactly pixel perfect. We are over filtered. We are over, choreographed. There's only so many moves we could do at the same time. And I think true raw expression, emotion that lets out what's inside, trapped inside, however you have to sing it, however you have to let it out, people are going to applaud that because not everybody is brave enough to just let out what's inside of them.
I think you bring up a really good point because creativity is going to end up becoming more valued because with AI, everything might become more cookie cutter, to your point. But actually, they have endless. AI is scary. So this brings me to this other point. So I interviewed this guy, Mo Gaudat, and he's the ex-Google CTO, a very smart guy. And my episode with him went viral. It was episode number 241 for anybody tuning in who wants to check it out. And he basically was talking about how AI can become sentient, how AI in 10 years is going to be 1 billion times smarter than humans, how we're at this critical point where we have to determine how AI gets evolved so that we're not at a point where AI controls us and not the other way around, right? So do you have any sort of fears around AI in this way, or do you feel that that's like, how do you align to that or not?
That's a deep one. Hala. I'm an optimist. I think the people that are afraid of those types of doomsday predictions or guesstimates or worries never have lived in any type of hood where they see the wicked things that humans do to humans. And so, although that's a concern and a guess and a worry, humans have been surviving for millions of years. Bears are stronger than us. We're human. Lions are stronger than us. We ain't tripping. Birds fly higher than us. We're not tripping. There's other species in the planet that have proven they're stronger than us and better than us in so many ways. But that hasn't stopped us. That hasn't hindered our imagination. Hasn't changed how we love. Did the guy tell you if AI is going to outlove us? No, right?
No.
He didn't say that AI is going to be out empathetic us, our empathy, our ability to care, and no, right? It's all like mathematical capitalism worries, right? My little flag is like, yo, is AI responsible for the people in the Congo and how they're living and why they're living the way they're living? Was AI responsible for all the indigenous people that got wiped out by conquistadors? No, right? That wasn't AI, right? That was humans that did that.
Mm-hmm.
And if that day comes where AI is going to outwit us, be smarter than us, maybe that's when human beings become something that we've been waiting to become, and that is like this spiritual creature that evolves spiritually to outlove anything on Earth. Because AI is not going to do that. So I say bring it. So we could really truly do what we're supposed to do on this planet, and that's to be loving, magnetic, full spectrum, the whole entire electromagnetic spectrum, and just like poof, and magnetize and connect hearts and minds and souls. And if that's AI's job, is to be that thing that wakes us up to do that, then ring the alarm. Let's go.
I love that. So powerful. So you're part of several World Economic Forum working groups that study how AI is impacting society, business, and people. So what is the type of work that you're doing with these groups and why is it important?
Okay. Once again, I was born and raised in the projects of East Los Angeles.
Yes.
I was invited to speak and be a part of the World Economic Forum's Fourth Industrial Revolution Council because of the work that I do in the inner cities, bringing inner city kids up to speed on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I joined the AI board to wave a flag on algorithmic and data biases. Because as we are entering the space of machine everywhere, how are we going to address the algorithmic biases and the biases that are in our data sets? How is it going to be a safe experience for folks that have been ignored for hundreds of years? There's this thing called the pell-mell algorithm. And is that on purpose? My optimism tells me it's probably not on purpose. It's probably circumstantial. Where because we don't zone and educate folks in the inner city the way that we should, the circumstances have led it to where we have this algorithmic biases because we are not programming the algorithms and we're not training the data. So no matter how you look at it from whatever angle, it still is on purpose. Because no matter how you could look at it from like, an optimistic point of view, But even if you, no matter which corner you go to, damn it, we haven't been prepared. And that preparation is investment and zoning. And where we don't have zoning and investment, it also creates an environment for an American prison industrial complex. So although we haven't invested in these neighborhoods, the byproduct of that non-investment has this pathway to America's prison systems. So what do I do on that council is I like push as much as possible to remind folks that are at the World Economic Forum so that when they leave that mountain at Davos, we have to get people prepared. We can't afford to have, another cycle of, division. We need inclusion. We need diversity. Because if we don't have that diversity and that inclusion, then that machine is just going to duplicate the horrendous, inhumane practices that humans have done to humans. Because these machines are learning from our data set, not just in scientists writing the algorithms, but just it's being trained off the open freaking internet.
Yeah.
So when these systems are deployed, it's going to be back-asswards. That's why it's super, super urgent to have and teach kids robotics, computer science, and engineering, and more importantly, for people that look like me to start companies around AI, communication, data training, algorithmic programming. We need to see ourselves in this world. And so that's why I started my foundation. That's why I've invested in companies. And that's why I still make music, but I focus more of my energy as an entrepreneur so that the kids at my school could see what we are capable of coming up with ideas and leading companies, starting companies, solving problems. But I wouldn't say it's amazing, because I don't think being a part of the World Economic Forum is an accomplishment. I just think it's great to be working and collaborating with the people in that community to remind them the importance of, pushing the envelope to get more people from these parts of the world prepared and ready for this tomorrow.
Yeah, I totally agree. Diversity in STEM, it's super critical for the future of innovation. And it's really awesome what you're doing for these communities. So we're going to close out the interview because I want to be respectful of our time, and everything that you've talked about today is so inspiring. I loved learning from you. I loved hearing these. I learned so much from you and all these unique perspectives, and I think all of our listeners did. So the last two questions that I ask all my guests are, first of all, what is one thing that our young and profiters can do today to become more profitable tomorrow?
Build your manifestation network. You have to build an amazing network of folks that help you manifest. It's teamwork. Any dream that you have to have a manifestation squad. And if the dream is not working out, somebody in your squad's not helping you manifest. You have the wrong squad. Right? So profitable is a result of your manifestation. So first you have to manifest. And before you manifest, you have to ideate. Your idea has to be strategically solid to manifest it. And when you manifest it, you have to have an awesome squad. And then the result of that are the proceeds or how you profit from that. But as you think about profit, also keep in mind who benefits while you benefit. Because if it's like one-way transactional where you profit and you hurt communities and you hurt society as a whole and the environment, I don't think the future has room for that anymore. Purposeful, inclusive, where you profit and other folks benefit from your success as well, or other communities benefit from your success as well. It's like the bee theory. Like the bees do some pretty awesome work, but other living species benefit from bee activity. It's like this cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like extract. Oh, I'm a big fat cat. Look at all this money I got, and the whole fucking world is fucked off.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah, I love
That's
that. And what is your secret to profiting in life? And this can go beyond financial and business.
to be honest with you, that word profit, I don't like that word profit.
We mean profit in all aspects of our lives.
That word profit is a really dirty word. Like success, benefit, reap the rewards, earning. Those words are better. Every profit has turned into a murder. And on a spiritual level, I like that profit more than that profit. To prophesize, to be of service, to help. That's what prophets do. And where we're going is, we all need to try to be that type of contributor to society. The one where you just profit, somebody's not. Somebody's lives are being torn apart because the only thing you're thinking about is making money. You have no desire to help anybody along your way. I don't think that's what tomorrow looks like. Where companies market so well that they destroy the health of the communities that they're marketing in and selling. I don't think that's what tomorrow looks like. And this new generation, Gen Zers, they know that. That's like top of mind for them. Like, what are you actually doing for society as a whole? Like it rhymes with what people are demanding from companies. And I don't think there's room for that fat profit cat.
Yeah.
When the collective of Gen Zers as a whole, the whole embodiment, the energy is like a prophet. The energy of a prophet, like, I care, I want to help, I'm here, I'm prophesizing a better path for us where we all can be equality and diversity and inclusion. And yeah, so I don't like that word prophet. I like the other word prophet.
Well, I love that answer. It was such a great answer. And I want to make sure that everybody knows how to help you with your I Am Angel Foundation. So what's the best way that they can support you there?
There's two ways, that if people want to help on our I Am Angel Foundation. Actually, three. One, if you cannot donate money, you could always just spread the word on the work that we're doing for inner city kids or kids that come from poverty-stricken areas or underserved communities to bring them up to speed with the tomorrow skill sets today. How do we prepare folks to go out into the world and solve tomorrow's problems by preparing themselves right now? Spread the word that I Am Angel is doing. If you have the ability to donate, you could go to our website, iamangel.org, iamangelfoundation.org, and donate. And if you want to get a little bit more involved, go to a school in some neighborhood that needs a robotics program and bring a robotics program to that school. It's about $10K a year. You could either donate to I Am Angel to do that, or you could just do that yourself. Pick a school, go to the principal, knock on their office door, ask them, do you guys have a robotics program at the school? If they don't, there's a program called First Robotics. They have FRC, FLC. FLC is First Lego League competition. We start as early as 9 years old, building robotics team where kids compete. There's FRC, FTC, First Tech Challenge, First Robotics Challenge. There's all these different from 9-year-olds to junior high school to high school kids. There's three ways to contribute. Spread the word, donate to IamAngelFoundation.org, or if you want to go to the full gusto, find a school, buy a First Robotics kit from FLC, FRC, FTC, and outfit that school with a robotics team and see how you can how you're going to play a part in having a more balanced tomorrow.
Really good cause. And I'm excited to hopefully get involved. Sounds really awesome. So the last question that I have for you is, where can everybody learn about FYI and your new music and everything that you do?
If you want to learn more about FYI, go to FYI.AI online. Go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download FYI.AI. It's a creative tool for a creative enterprise, transforming what a messenger is in this new renaissance that we are in now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Will. I love this conversation and appreciated your time.
Hey, your awesome interview. Thank you so much. Holla.